Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The relative existence versus the absolute existence determines whether we are seeking liberation for I or from I. For example, when the teacher said, "Those who come to me, they do not return again," that means once you have recognized your absolute being, thereafter the limitations of the relative existence do not disturb us. And those who have not reached the absolute, what is their lot? Their lot is that they have to keep on suffering at the relative existence. So, what exactly relative existence means? It means that which is conditioned by time and that which is conditioned by birth and death is relative. So, to tell this principle, in the 17th verse, the teacher says, how everything Brahma bhuvanaloka punaravartino Arjuna, how everything is temporary or relative, because kala parichinnatvat, they are conditioned by time. Now what is the meaning of conditioning by time? Anything which is referred with reference to time is conditioned by time. See? That is how, when people celebrate the birthday, this is what they mean. Suppose somebody is born on 1st January 2000 and we celebrate his birthday. So what it means? It means he was not there before the 1st January 2004. And thereafter it doesn't matter how many years he continues to live. Whether 10 days, 10 months, 10 years or 100 years, it makes no difference. Because that which begins in time has to end in time. So, this is how ye ahoratra vido janaha, those who are the knower of the meaning of this relative existence, they say that even the Brahmaloka is limited by time. Now the question comes, during this limited existence in the Brahmaloka, what happens? So this is said now in the 18th verse, Avyaktadvyaktayas sarvaha Prabhavantyah ragame Ratriagame praliyante Tatraiva vyakta sanjnake. Avyaktat. Now this word avyakta is used many places. Here also the teacher will tell. What is avyakta? Avyakta means avyaktam prajapatehe swapavastha. We are talking about the Brahmalok. So Brahmalok is that of the Prajapati or the Brahmaji. So Prajapatehe avyaktam swapavastha, when he is sleeping, tasmat avyaktat. So from that avyakta condition, vyakta व्यक्तयः व्यज्यन्ते इति व्यक्तयः स्थावर जंगम लक्षणाः सर्वाः प्रजाः. So Vyakta means the manifestation. So from the unmanifest condition of the Brahmaji, the Prajapati, all the manifested things, Sarva Prajaha, Prabhavanti, Abhivyajante, they are manifested. This is the same thought Bhagavan has told in the second chapter to Arjuna, that अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्त निधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना. So if you take the relative existence also, earlier they were not there means they were unmanifest, and thereafter when they were unmanifest, when Prajapatehe swapavastha, when he is sleeping, the whole world is unmanifest. Thereafter when Annaha agamaha ahragamaha. Annaha agamaha ahragama means what? When the day breaks, when the day agama coming, with the arrival of the day, annaha gamaha ahragamaha, tasmin ahragame kale, when the day breaks, that time, brahmanaha prabodha kale. That means when Brahmaji awakes from his sleep. So, avyakta vyaktaya sarva prabhavante haragame. That means when Brahmaji is sleeping, everything is enfolded. When he wakes up, everything is manifested. Now, keep the Brahmaji pending for a moment. Is it not our everyday's experience? How clear this is. When we go to sleep, then the India, Pakistan, rich, poor, this government, that government, everything disappears. They have no meaning, no existence. And again, when we wake up, again everything begins. So wherever we have left, when we went to sleep, from there again the new day begins. In the same manner, when Brahmaji wakes up, so wherever he has left the whole world at the time of sleeping, from there the new kalpa, the new wheel of creation begins. The new, therefore, ratriyagame brahmanaha swapakale praliyante sarva vyaktayaha. And again when Brahmaji goes to sleep, everything, whatever was manifested, what is manifested? Sthavar jangama lakshanaha sarva prajaha. The total, the animate and the inanimate world, everything is again praliyante, is withdrawn, absorbed in the same avyakta. Purvokte avyakte sanyake. So, in the sleeping stage of the Brahmaji, the whole world goes back. Again, when he wakes up, again it comes out. Again he sleeps, again it goes back. Now, why this story is being told? Here, Bhagavan Shankara's commentary gives us some very good information. Akrutabhyagama kruta vipranasha dosha pariharartham. 1. Second, bandha moksha shastra pravrutti safalya darshanartham. And 3, avidyadi kleshamula karmashaya vashacha avashaha bhutagramo bhutva praliyate iti ataha samsare vairagya pradarshanartham cha idam aha. Now the next verse Bhagavan says, for the following 3 reasons. Which are those 3 reasons? First reason, akruta abhyagama kruta vipranasha dosha parihara. Parihara is removal. For removing the dosha, the limitation, the shortcoming. What is the shortcoming? shortcoming will be if we do not accept this. Please understand, it's a very subtle point. If we do not accept the karma siddhanta, then what will happen? It will be what is happening in our life now, it has no reason. It's just happening. And whatever we will do in this life, it has no result. This is what is called as akruta abhyagama kruta vipranasha dosha. Because when we say that this person is, unfortunate, he is suffering a lot, so we have sympathy, but then what we say? If we are the believers of karma, we say, no, it's not like that. God doesn't make anybody miserable. Then, last life he must have tortured people. And therefore his own children are torturing him now. What can be done? So, whatever karma we have done in our last life, that karma phala alone is the cause of our present life. Now similarly, whatever good or bad we will do, that will become the cause of our next life. And therefore, this going to be born again, dying, this is meaningful. Otherwise, you will never have any foundation for the dharma, even the righteousness, goodness. Why should we be good? We kill, loot, plunder and enjoy, because after the body dies, everything is over. Therefore, runam krutva ghrutam pibet. You may borrow and enjoy your life and don't bother to return anything, because anyway, after death nothing remains. It is not like that. So to remove this kind of shortcoming in the lifestyle, this karma siddhanta, again born, again dying, and the pralaya, Brahmaji awakes, the world is created. He sleeps, the pralaya, the dissolution takes place. This is one reason why this punarapi jananam, again and again, birth and death, creation and destruction is accepted in our scriptures, first. Now second, bandha moksha shastra pravrutti safalya darshanartham. Now when I as an individual consider that I am bound, naturally, then only there will be an attempt for liberation. Like many people say, Swamiji, before we came on this spiritual line, we were very happy. And after we came on this line, you unnecessarily started telling us that, this world is full of miseries. And now we have started feeling miserable. Earlier it was okay. I think we have done a mistake. Now see, being miserable when that is not even recognized, what a tragedy it is. Therefore, bandha moksha, what the scriptures do first they bring to our cognition that we are really leading a life of bondage. And as long as we are living in the fool's paradise, everything is wonderful, fine. Do you think we can seek for something higher? We cannot. Therefore, first, the bondage is brought to our cognition, bandha. Naturally, after the bondage, moksha, liberation. So, this is the Shastra, the scripture of bondage and liberation, will be meaningless unless we accept this avyakta advyaktaya sarva prabhavantya ragame. Now third, avidyadi klesha moola karmashaya vashacha. And then according to Yoga Shastra, the last life's karmashaya becomes the cause for our birth, jati, ayu, bhogaha. What will be the type of birth, where will be born, then ayuhu, longevity, and bhoga, what kind of experiences we are going to have. So, these three things are satisfied only when we accept what is said in the 18th verse, avyakta vyaktayaha sarvaha prabhavantya haragame. So all things are born with the awakening of the Brahmaji, and everything goes back with the sleep of Brahmaji. Now, avashaha bhutagramo bhutva bhutva praliyate. And therefore the jivas have avasha, they have no choice. Under compulsion, all the jivas thus born again and again they dissolve. And this kind of it continues unnecessarily. Ataha samsare vairagya pradarsanartham cha idam aha. So to create a sense of dispassion for this mechanical boredom of existence. See? Whenever our life has become mechanical, we lose the charm of living. And this is what happens in the prosperous society. Their life has become so mechanical, because everything is standardized. Standardization in the world has gone to such an extent that how do I express my love for my mother is standardized. How do I express my love for my husband or wife is standardized. Everything is standardized. And as a result, life has become totally mechanical. The same thing happens. When our life becomes mechanical, we are somehow dragging through the life. I don't know, and this is so boredom. Why God has created this world and all that. I don't feel comfortable. These kind of things comes, understand. We are becoming the victims of the matter and relativity. And therefore, to discover dispassion for this repeated transmigration, the teacher says in the 19th verse, Bhutagramasya evayam Bhutva bhutva praliyate Ratrya game vasha partha Prabhavatyah ragame. Bhutagramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. Bhutagrama bhut samudayah sthavara jangama lakshano jaha purvasmin kalpe asid sa eva ayam na anyaha bhutva bhutva aragame praliyate punah punaha ratrayagame annaha kshaye. So whatever was existing in the last kalpa, all the things and beings, and at that time when the whole thing was concluded, and again the Brahmaji woke up, again the whole thing started. It is something like, you are watching a video or a VCD or a DVD, and then you are tired and then switch off. So it remains there only. And again you start, it starts from there itself. In the same manner, whatever was left in the last kalpa, from there only the next cycle begins. And therefore, we are not for the first time sitting and talking on Bhagavad Gita. Remember this. This has always happened. So, this is how punah punaha ratrayagame annaha kshaye. When the day is over, again the night comes. Avashaha aswatantraha eva partha prabhavati avashaha aharagame. And again aharagame, when the day breaks of Brahmaji, again the whole creation begins. Now see, if we are watching the lives of elderly people, this comes. I told you probably once about my friend's mother. My friend is also young, 80, and his mother is still younger, 108. This is in Sikkim. I don't know if she is still there or gone. So he took me to see his mother, and when I went there, now you know what was her problem? Her problem was she can see without glasses. She can eat anything and digest. She drinks, she smokes, she takes tobacco. Perfectly healthy. Now her problem was very genuine problem. How many days I had to do the same thing? I get up in the morning, again do this thing, that thing, again eat and again sleep and again. And like that I am doing it for not a day or two but 108 years. She said that also I don't know how many years. People say I am 108 years, so I am 108 years. It goes on the same thing again and again and again. Isn't there something higher in life? Now see, when we stop seeking something higher, our life becomes a boredom. And therefore, to bring dispassion in our heart about our present relative existence is this particular topic. Topic from 17, 18 and 19. These three verses, they are particularly designed for us to have dispassion about this mechanical life that we have been living. Now if we are very sincere and look within us and just see really what we have been doing, the same thing. Get up in the morning and then eat and then spend time here and there and then again go to sleep. Again get up and all go on all that. And when you look back and find out really what we have done in life, nothing. Then we get bored and frustrated. So, instead of that, discover some higher purpose. And the higher purpose is get out of the relativity and get established in the absolute. Now what happens? Once you are established in the absolute, then you can play the game of relativity. Then there is no boredom in life. See? So the ignorant ones who are carrying the load of life because they are victimized by the relative existence. And the wise one are the one who are established in the absolute, and then they are playing the game of relativity. Therefore, life no more becomes a burden for them. And therefore, the teacher continues in the next verse. Yat upanyastam aksharam tasya prapti upayo nirdishtaha omittikāksharam brahma ityadina. See, this akshara tattva which we have started, upanyastam aksharam tasya prapti upayaha nirdishtaha. How to attain that akshara brahma, apara brahma. We have seen there are two types of understandings about this Om. One is the Apara Brahma and second is the Para Brahma. Now we have seen the meaning of the Upasana or the Yoga Sadhana that we do, keeping in view the meaning of Om as Apara Brahma remaining in the relative existence. That we have seen Om Ittyekaksharam Brahma Ityadina. By this mantra we have already seen. Now, atha idanim aksharasya eva swarupa nirdidikshaya. Now, what is the essential meaning and the nature of this akshara tattva? Keeping this in view, idam uchyate. This is said. What? Anena yoga margena idam gantavyam iti. Now, this is very important. Underline this word. Atha idanim aksharasya swarupa nirdidikshaya idam uchyate anena yoga margena idam gantavyam. Means what? Now when we are practicing the yoga abhyas, when we are spending a lot of time and energy, what is the time and energy spent for? That सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोवृद्धि निरुद्ध्य च मूर्ध्याधायात्मन प्राणम आस्थितो योग धारणाम. And then Om Ittekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Ma Manusmaran. So much of sadhana is done, but for what? See? Anena yoga margena idam gantavyam. What for this yoga abhyas, yoga sadhana is done? So to tell us that yoga abhyas, yoga sadhana is not meant for remaining conditioned in the relative existence. See? This yoga sadhana is not meant for seeking the worldly pursuits. And now see, the whole world, yoga for beauty, yoga for reducing the weight, yoga for backache. See? Here Bhagavan is very clear telling, Anena yoga margena idam gantavyam. This is the purpose of the yoga abhyas. What is that purpose? 20th verse. Paras tasmat tu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaham yassa sarveshu bhuteshu Nashyatsu na vinashyati. Again here the same word avyakta has come. Therefore Bhagavan is very clearly bringing. Tasmat paraha means what? Vyatiriktaha, bhinnaha. Here the word para is used to indicate different, other than. Paraha vyatiriktaha bhinna, other than. Other than what? Kutaha, kasmat, tasmat purvoktat. So, paraha tasmat purvoktat avyaktat. What was the meaning of the avyakta in the 18th verse? Avyaktat vyaktaya sarve. Avyaktat prajapatehe swapavastha avyakta. Now here this another avyakta is different. Although the word is the same. See, it is something like this, The ignorance is avyakta. Isn't it? I do not know English. So this ignorance is avyakta, unmanifest. I do not know. Ignorance. Then I do not know myself also. So the ignorance which I do not know is unmanifest, and I, the reality supporting the ignorance, even that I also do not know myself. So now there are two ignorance, two avyaktas. There are two unmanifest. One is the ignorance and the second is the I which is supporting the ignorance. The same thing is here. Paraha tasmat bhavaha. Tasmat purvoktat avyaktat. That means Brahmaji, the relative existence at the totality level, and his sleep. So when Brahmaji goes to sleep, that was called as avyakta. But there is another avyakta. Paraha tasmat tu. Tu, therefore, tu shabdaha aksharasya vivikshidasya avyaktat vailakshanya pradarsanartha. Now this avyakta which we are referring to is the akshara tattva. The tu shabdaha aksharasya vivikshidasya. So the akshara tattva, the parabrahma paramatma, that is also avyakta. So aksharasya vivikshitasya avyaktat vailakshanyam pradarsanartha. So to indicate that we are talking about another avyakta, not the avyakta what you know. What we know, avyakta advyaktaya sarva prabhavanti haragame. Now, bhavaha aksharakhyaha param brahma. Here bhavaha means pure existence. So there is one avyakta unmanifest which is other than the unmanifest world. Now this is better expression. World is the manifestation. And opposite of the manifestation will be what? Unmanifestation. And in both unmanifest world as well as the manifest world, there is a substratum which is supporting both the unmanifestation of the world as well as the manifestation of the world. Now to understand this, take this example. See, the ocean is avyakta of all the waves. Waves are unmanifest in the depth of the ocean. So as you go deeper, waves disappear. Now the question comes, where from the waves come in the ocean? They come from trees, plants? No, they come from the ocean only. Then where they were? They were unmanifest. So, unmanifestation of the wave with reference to the ocean is the relative unmanifestation or avyakta. Now the second one. In the water, both waves and the ocean are unmanifest. So, water is that reality here referred as the akshara, the pure existence, because without the water, neither the relative unmanifestation ocean nor the relative manifestation wave is possible. This is the meaning of avyakta vyaktaya sarve. So, paras tasmatu bhavaha anyaha. Make it very clear. In fact, this Parabrahma Paramatma becomes manifest because of his Prakriti. And when this Prakriti remains unmanifest, there is no creation. And when the Prakriti becomes manifest, there is a creation. So, unmanifestation of the Prakriti is one unmanifestation, and the Parabrahma Paramatma is unmanifest without the creation. So, Parabrahma Paramatma is independent of Prakriti, but Prakriti cannot exist without the Parabrahma Paramatma. This is the meaning. Paraha tasmatu bhavaha anyaha. Now, why he has used the word anyaha? Vyaktiriktatve sati api salakshanya prasangaha asti iti tad vinivrityartham aha anyaha iti. So, one may imagine that the unmanifested Prakriti, avyakta Prakriti, or avyakta Parabrahma, are these two types of avyakta or there is another type similar? No. They are absolutely different. They are not same, although the word is used the same. It is something like, ignorance does not exist. And therefore, you cannot say, like I can say that this is a paperweight. In the same manner, I cannot say this is the ignorance, because ignorance is never an object. Ignorance of something. Similarly, existence. Existence is independent. Whether the paperweight is there or not, existence is there. Whether the watch is there or not, existence is there. So this first avyakta Parabrahma Paramatma Akshara Tattva is eternal. And this Prakriti is manifesting, unmanifesting, manifesting, unmanifesting. This is the difference. Therefore, paras tasmatu bhavonyaha avyaktaha avyaktat sanatanaha. And with this second other bhavaha avyaktaha, it is sanatanaha. It is avyaktaha anindriya gocharaha, cannot be comprehended by any faculties, cannot be comprehended by any means of knowledge. Paraha tasmat iti uktam. Kasmat puna paraham? Purvoktat bhuta grama bija bhutat avidya lakshanat avyaktat. Now it will become more clear to you. What was the earlier avyakta? Bhuta grama bija bhutat. So all the jivas are existing in the form of impressions in the samashti, Mahat Tattva, and that Mahat Tattva becomes unmanifest and everything goes back to the Prakriti when there is a total pralaya, and again those impressions again start sprouting and the whole world is created. So that condition of the Prakriti, therefore Bhuta Grama Bija Bhutat Avidya Lakshanat Avyaktat. This Avyakta Bhavaha, absolute reality, is totally different. And what is the difference in that? Sanatanaha, Chirantanaha, it has been always like that, without any change, whether there is creation or no creation. There is no difference. So, yaha sa bhavaha sarveshu bhuteshu brahmadishu nachatsu na vinashyati. Now, this pure existence, the absolute reality, is never corrupted when the relative reality is destroyed. Now, to understand this, take another example. The gold is supporting the golden ornaments. So the gold has the potentiality to manifest in the form of the ornaments. We cannot make the ornaments out of water. We cannot make ornaments out of the petrol. We cannot. Because petrol or the water doesn't have that potentiality to express in the form of ornaments. So where are all the ornaments? All the ornaments are in the potentiality of that gold. When this potentiality is invoked, what happens? Gold expresses as the golden ornaments. And when we again heat the golden ornaments, all the ornaments go back. So the birth of the ornament and the death of the ornaments is a relative existence. And where from this relative existence has come? It has come from the potentiality of the gold which is expressing as the ornament. This potentiality you have to very clearly understand. One more example I will give you. Make this point distinctly clear. Then you will have real joy. See, water has the potentiality to exist as ocean. Therefore, we have the ocean of water and not the ocean of desert or the sand. It is not. First principle. Now, this potentiality of water to exist as ocean, where it will effect, meaning when the water is expressing as ocean, whom will this ocean affect? Everyone except the water. So if anything else other than the water falls in the ocean, is subjected to drowning and destruction. But when the water falls in the ocean, will the water get drowned? No. Because this potentiality of the water to express as the ocean cannot influence the water. Now the second thing. This is very beautiful understanding. Second thing. In the water, other than water, there is nothing. Yes. Now the question comes, where this potentiality of the water to exist as the ocean will act upon? It will act upon only on the water. See? Because in the water, other than water, there is nothing. And because it is its own potentiality, it cannot influence the water. See? The burning power of the fire cannot burn the fire. The sweetness of the sugar does not create diabetes for the sugar cane. Make this point, it is very subtle point, therefore I am giving you too many examples. So this potentiality of the water cannot influence the water, but other than the water there is nothing in the water, therefore it has to influence only the water, and the influence of this potentiality on the water is called as the waves. See? And what are the waves again? They are again the same water. That means this potentiality in the water has created two imaginary conditions. One as the ocean, second as the waves. So from the ocean, when the waves are born, we say in the ocean the waves are avyakta, unmanifest. And when the waves die, where do they go? They go back to the ocean. So, ocean is unmanifest with reference to the waves, and waves are a manifestation with reference to ocean. But what is the water? Water is other than the ocean. This is what is meant here. Avyaktad vyaktayo parastasmatu bhavonyaha avyaktaha avyaktat sanatanaha. And then yahasa sarveshu natsyatsu. When we take out the water from the ocean and in a glass, so is that called as the ocean? No, it is not called as the ocean. So what we have done, in the glass we have destroyed the ocean. But the water is not destroyed. Or when the wave dies away, nothing happens to the water. We may say ocean has become calm. We don't say water has become calm. When there are too many waves, we say ocean is very rough. We never say the water is very rough. In this manner, this avyakta, purvoktad, bhuta, grama, bija bhutad, avidya lakshanat, avyaktad. So waves are never born in the water. They are born only in the ocean. Otherwise you take a glass of water, hey, be careful, beta, okay? There may be waves and you may get drowned in that. No. In the same manner, absolute reality, conditioned by its potentiality, is the avyakta, which is responsible for creation, destruction. So this avyakta is the relative reality. And absolute reality is paraha bhavaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And when this water is what? Sanatanaha, Chirantanaha, never destroyed. Therefore, even Brahmadishu nachatsu, even when Brahmaji and Brahmani and everything is destroyed, nothing happens to this absolute reality. Now come from all these examples at a huge level, come at a simple individual level, it becomes easier. A man is the Akshara Tattva and he gets married and produces child and becomes a father. So, the moment he has become father, he has become manifest as a reproducing animal. The moment he produces a child. The moment he gets married, he has manifested as the husband. So the father and the husband, these positions are relative existence. And when he seeks divorce or when his son dies, nothing happens to this man. So, when the wife is left, then again the husband has become avyakta, again he gets married, again vyakta. So many times he can get married and have a husbandhood and go back. But the man is the absolute. In this manner, this absolute reality supporting the total relativity is never influenced by the relativity. This is in short the summary of all what we have studied this morning. Now this avyakta, the absolute reality, is what is said in the 21st verse. Avyaktoksara ityuktaha tamahu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. Now this avyakta akshara iti yuktaha. See? Yaha asau avyaktaha. Now this avyakta which we are just now referred to is akshara iti yuktaha. This is the real self. This is the absolute reality. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. See? So this is that akshara tattva. Yaha asau avyaktaha akshara iti yuktaha. Now, tam eva akshara sanyakam avyaktam bhavam ahuhu. So, this akshara tattva itself is called as avyaktam, unmanifestation. Paramam gatihi gatim prakrishtam. So, this absolute reality itself is called as the ultimate goal of existence. This is to be sought, this is to be reached, this is to be attempted for by the yogis. This is the meaning. Remember the sentence that you underlined? That aksharasya eva swarupa nirdidikshaya idam uchyate anena yoga margena idam gantavyam. So this yoga abhyas is meant for what? For reaching this akshara tattva. And not be happy with the relative existence. What is the relative existence? Relative existence is that after this yoga abhyas is done and then he is born in a good families and then he lives a very happy life, or he has completed his yoga abhyas and then he goes to the Siddha Loka and he has got all the siddhis and he is blessing the whole world. He has all love and compassion for the whole world. And therefore he goes on curing the people and all that. That is not the goal of our spiritual life. This is one very, very difficult thing even to digest and understand. So, yaha asau avyaktaha aksharadiyuktaha tam eva paramam gatim ahuhu. This absolute reality is the ultimate. Now, in this absolute reality, there is freedom from I. There is freedom from relative existence. So, yam bhavam prapya gatva, having attained which, having established yourself in this absolute reality, na nivartante samsaraya, then there is no more relative existence ever troubling us, ever disturbing us. So, yam bhavam prapya gatva na nivarte samsaraya tad dhama sthanam paramam prakrishtam mama vishnoho paramam padamityartaha. That is called as the param dhama. That is the prakrishtam, that is the ultimate. Means what? Like the ocean is the ultimate for the waves, the rivers. In the similar manner, the water is the ultimate for the ocean. After having reached the water stage, there is nothing remains to be gained. In the same manner, unless we come to realize this unmodifying, unchanging absolute reality. Now remember how we started. This unmodifying, unchanging absolute reality is not the jiva, please. That the jiva bhava is the in-between stage for us to understand. It is not the ultimate, or else we will get lost in that. So, yam prapyani nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Having attained the absolute, there is no more falling back in the relative. Now, tallabdehe upaya uchyate. Now, to attain this absolute once for all, what is the means? So, first of all, what was said? Yoga abhyas is done. And then it is said, you do the yoga abhyas for what? getting freedom for I and follow the relative existence, or getting freedom from I and follow this avyaktokshara ityuktam tamahu paramam gatim yam prapyan nivartante taddhama paramam mama. And if you are seeking this, the last option, that you do not want to again get subjected to the relative existence, then the question comes, what is the path? Because yoga abhyas is taking us to the relative existence, but we want to merge in the absolute. So what is the path? That is said in the 22nd verse. Purushasya parapartha bhaktya labhyastvananyaya yasyantasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. Hey Partha, this Akshara Purushaha, who is this Purusha? Purishayanat Purnatvat Va. This is the definition of the Purusha. He who is manifesting through the body is called as Purusha. Now, get this point clear. The point is, electrical energy can manifest as light only through bulb. Only electrical energy cannot give light. So, this Akshara Brahma, this Parabrahma, can find manifestation through the conditioning of the body. And therefore, this Akshara Parabrahma, with reference to the body, is also called as Purusha. So, absolute manifesting through the conditioning of the Panchakosha is the relative. So, this relative expression of the absolute is called as Purusha. Now, the question is, has he really become relative? Has he really become relative? No. Why? Purnatvat. When the electrical energy expresses through the bulb, electrical energy as such never becomes conditioned. It is the expression that is a conditioned expression. Because when we say electrical energy never becomes conditioned, means what? Means electrical energy can exist even in the absence of the bulb. See? So this Akshara Purusha manifests through the body as the Jiva. Therefore, this Akshara Purusha is called as the Purusha with reference to body. But that does not mean that he cannot exist independent of the body. These are the two meanings. Purushayanat Purnatvatva. And these two meanings make all the difference in your spiritual practice. If we take the meaning of this Purusha as Sankhya Shastra takes, there are many Purushas and one Prakriti, and each Purusha is going through his own sadhana, and he cannot do anything to the other Purushas, and Ishvara is also Purusha Vishesha. And when you say that a Purusha is Chetana, Nirlepa, Asanga, And all the Purushas are same. So are they different actually? See? This is water, this is water, this is water, this is water, this is water. Analyze them chemically. Exactly the same. Yes. So you may call them many because of the many parts. But does it mean that because of the pot the water has become many? No. However, according to the Sankhya Shastra, they accept that there are many Purushas, Jivas, then there is one Prakriti. So the duality is the foundation of the Sankhya and the Yoga. And therefore, those who are following this path, you just observe. I have great fortune to be with these Mahatmas. They are extremely self-disciplined. They have got many siddhis with them. And one example I'll tell you. One great Mahatma, very great, no doubt about it. In their ashram, they celebrate a day of realization. On this particular day, this Mahatma had the vision of Bhagavan. So that day is celebrated as the day of realization. So earlier I was not realized, now I am realized. But only one problem. Everybody doesn't understand that I am realized. But anyway, I help everybody. See, relativity is still maintained. In the absolute, there is nothing like I was not realized, now I am realized, I hope I don't forget my realization. Then we are only at the level of the thoughts. Therefore, Purushaha, when we take the meaning Purushayanat, we follow different approach to life. And when we say Purnatvat, we follow the different approach of life. So Purushaha, Purushayanat, Purnatvatva, Sa Paraha Partha. This Purusha is what? Essentially Paraha. Paraha Niratishayaha. Yasmat Purusha na param kinchit. See, Kathopanishad. Indriyebhya para hyartha arthebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhi buddhehe mahan paraha mahataha param avyaktam avyaktat purusha paraha. So there that avyakta is the Prakriti. And that which is beyond that Prakriti, avyaktat purusha paraha, then purushanna param kinchit. Sa kashtha sa paragati. This is what he says. Paraha niratishayaha yasmat purushat na param kinchit. Now this Parabrahma, Paramatma, the absolute reality, bhaktya labhyaha tu jnana lakshanaya ananyaya atma vishaya. See? Purushasya parapartha bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya. Now this ananya bhakti is also interpreted by those who are in the duality in a different manner, and those who are in the non-duality in a different manner. Ananya bhakti means what? Ananya bhakti means other than Krishna, there is no God in this world. I am devoted only to Krishna, 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 Krishna. Don't bring Rama, Shiva, never. Ananya bhakti. This story I read somewhere that these devotees reach Vrindavan, and the gopis were there, and they are enjoying their life every moment. So these devotees said, "Do you know who we are? We don't know. We don't want to know also. No, we'll tell you. We are Ananya Bhakta." Do you know what is Ananya? Gopi said, "We'll tell you who we are first. Yeah? We are Phananya Bhakta." What is this Phananya? You tell what is this Ananya? Ananya means other than Bhagavan Krishna, we do not think of any other God. Ananya. Oh, that. Okay, very good. What is Phananya? We do not know even that there is something other than Bhagavan Krishna. See? Other than Bhagavan Krishna, there is nothing in this world. So, Ananya Bhakta means what? That the oneness with the reality. This is what here itself Bhagavan has told. Ananyata, that means the sense of otherness is given up. In the 7th chapter we are told, Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. Udara sarva evaite. All the devotees are great, no doubt. But the Jnani Bhakta is my real devotee because he is not other than me. He is one with me. Therefore, Udara sarva evete jnani tvatmaiva mevatam astita sahi yuktatma mam eva anuttamam gatim. Because he is practicing the yoga abhyas for attainment of oneness with me, the anuttamam gatim, the ultimate absolute reality. So, Purushasya parapartha bhaktya labhyananyaya. And who is this Purusha, Parapurusha or the absolute reality? Yasya antasthani bhutani. See? So, Jnana Lakshaya Ananyaya Atma Vishaya Bhaktya Yasya Purushasya antasthani madhyasthani karya bhutani. In whom is contained the total creation. See? The whole world, the total creation is contained in this absolute reality. Now this example also you can understand. The same man is the husband, the father, the brother, the son-in-law, the father-in-law. Now where are so many things? They are all in him. In the same manner, the same absolute reality is the container of Jiva Jagat Ishvara relative existence. Yasya antasthani bhutani madhyasthani. Because karya bhutani. These are all the effects or the manifestation of this reality. Because karyam hi karanasya antarvarti bhavati. Because the karana is karyam hi karanasya antarvarti bhavati, because all the effects are contained in the cause. The effects cannot exist apart from the cause, but a cause can exist independent of the effect. The waves cannot exist independent of the ocean, but the ocean can exist independent of the waves. Similarly, the ocean cannot exist independent of the water, but the water can exist independent of the ocean. In the same manner, the absolute can exist independent of the relative world, but the relativity has no existence without the absolute. This is the meaning. Yasyantasthani bhutani. Therefore, yena purushena sarvam idam jagam tatam vyaptam akashena iva ghatadi. Therefore, by this Parabrahma Paramatma, this whole relative world of Jiva Jagat Ishvara is vyaptam tatam, permeating, just like the space is permeating the pot. One of the difficulties in appreciation and understanding is this, that we are always struggling to understand the truth with the influence of our own body, shape and the form. And therefore, whenever we think about, I had the vision of the God, how he came there, Shankar, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Because right from childhood, they are the samskar on our mind. So we will see Shankar, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And if I am the devotee of Devi, then I will have the vision of Goddess. And that vision of Goddess will not be like that of the vision of Krishna with the, the flute in the hand. No devotee of mother can have the vision of mother. Mother standing with the tongue inside and the flute in the hand. It cannot be. Similarly, nobody can have the vision of Bhagavan Krishna with the tongue out and 12 and 52, heads garland and all. Because we are so much conditioned by the form, we always think about the reality as the reality with the form. Now here example is given, idam sarvam tatam vyaptam akashena iva ghatadi. Therefore, one of the most effective method of meditation is do this bhavana, that I have no shape, no form. The moment the shape and the form disappear from the knowledge, you are merged with the Absolute instantaneously. It doesn't take any time. Thoughts cannot come in your mind if your mind has given up the shape and the form of your body. This is what happens in deep sleep. Their mind is not holding on to the shape of the body. So, this formless reality, like the space. Now, what the space does? Space supports everything, but never influenced by anything. In the same manner, the Absolute supports all the relative, but the relatives cannot condition the Absolute. The space is supporting the east, west, north, south. But the east, west, north, south cannot affect the space per se. And in this manner, this is the Purusha to be attained, obtained, reached by Ananyaya Bhaktya. Now one more point and then we'll conclude. Why the devotion is given so much importance? We are in the 8th chapter. I told you up to the 6th chapter, the sadhana is aham vritti pradhan. So when you are leading a good life, I am like that, I am like that, I have achieved this thing, I never go and back. And that is true. But this I poison becomes more and more concentrated. So after we have lived the life of karma and you have purified your heart, mind has become lesser and lesser loaded with the likes and dislikes, very good. But there is another load which comes, and that load is the load of I. And therefore, this I has to be surrendered. And this I is surrendered before something which is superior than the I. So, this relative I can be surrendered only in the Absolute. Because in the Absolute there is no I. So when the relative is surrendered, ayam aham kuto bhavati chinvataha ayam ai patatyaham nidhi vicharanam. This relative I disappears, and in the disappearance of the relative I, the Absolute alone is manifested. And therefore, this is the only way, devotion is the only way where we surrender, where we are working on the ego. In the karma and the yoga, we were working with the ego. I am a yogi, I am a karmi, I have to do this thing, I have controlled my mind, I. And what devotion helps? Freedom from this I. Freedom from this I by surrender to the Lord is devotion. And freedom from this I by understanding and inquiry about the I is knowledge. And both of them ultimately lead there only. Freedom from I. And this can be attained only through this path of devotion. Therefore, when he says, Yam prapya nanivartante tadhama paramam mama, to attain this absolute being, the only way is this. Bhaktya labhyatu ananyaya. Ananya bhakti, devotion is essential. Now after having told this, attainment of the absolute, But there are people who are still interested in the relative. Prakrutanam yoginam pranavaveshita brahma buddhinam kalantara mukti bhajam brahma pratipattaye uttaro margo vaktavyaha iti atra yatra kale ityadi vivikshitartha samarpanartham uchyate avritti marga upanyasaha itara marga stutyartha. So, those who are doing the upasana of the pranava upasana, Om, Om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan ma manusmaran, but they have taken the meaning of this Om as the relative, and therefore to tell them that when you get lost in the relative, you get lost for life. And if you use the same spiritual practice and discover the meaning of this I, you attain the total freedom from I. To tell this, the remaining 4-5 verses will lead us that there are two paths, and how these two paths lead us to either relative freedom or the absolute freedom. This we will see in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.